Hi, people. Welcome to another episode of the Immigration Guide. It's your girl, Michelle. So, today we'll be talking about how you can change your visitor's visa into a work permit. I know a lot excited to hear and to know how you can change your visitor's visa into a Canadian work permit. The first thing to note is that a visitor's visa alone is not a permanent relocation visa. So, it's important to be sure you have what it takes to change your status while visiting in Canada. Before I explain that to you, if you're seeing my video for the first time, it's your girl Michelle. The sole aim for this channel is to help people legally migrate abroad without needing to spend money on lawyers or agents. If you're in Canada or you're looking to move to Canada with a visitor's visa, you should consider subscribing to this channel, follow us on all social media platforms, leave your comment in the section. You can also show us appreciation by giving this video a like and share this video to your friends and family because this information will help someone out there. Okay, I am increasingly getting questions every single day regarding Canada visitors visa and looking for options to change that to another status while visiting. Honestly, it's not as easy as the way people say, but it's possible. There is a possibility that you can change your Canadian visitors visa into a work permit. The intention is to use this to stay back in Canada legally and perhaps become a permanent resident or citizen eventually. So, Canada allows you to apply for another status while visiting. There are requirements to meet, and let's talk about that. Visitors visa to work permit. Those on visitors visas can apply for a work permit after getting an eligible job offer. The temporary policy has been extended to February 28, 2025. So you can read this more on the Canadian website, government website. To do this, a visitor must have a valid visitor status, have a valid job offer, mostly supported by LMIA from an employer, or a job exempted from LMIA listed on their website. Apply for an employer-specific work permit. What does it mean? If you are a visitor in Canada, you can legally work with that visitor's visa alone. You must first get a job offer, get the LMIA you will likely need through the employer, and apply for your work permit. Yes, a lot of people don't know what LMIA is. It's a program that the government has put in place to help employers who are not able to get workers in Canada to be able to employ these workers out of Canada. So the employer will need to apply for an LMIA approver to be able to employ anybody out of Canada. That is what LMIA means. So if you are on a visitor's visa in Canada and you would like to switch your work permit switch your visitor's visa into a work permit, you need a job offer, mostly supported by an LMIA employer. Okay, so make sure that before you get a job offer, ask the company if that job is LMIA approved. Because if it's not LMIA approved, your visa application will be rejected. Okay, the LMIA means the Labor Market Impact Assessment. Like I said, it is what will show that there is need for a foreign worker outside Canada to fill the job. It will show that no Canadian is available to do the job after the job has been advertised for some time. The process of getting an LMIA is possible, but as you may already be thinking, it is not as easy the way people say it. It's difficult, although it's possible. Okay, so if you want to know more about that, just keep watching this video because I'll be giving you a lot of highlights on how to go about it. Okay, if you and the employer then cross this LMIA, the employer wishes to hire you as a temporary foreign worker, they will be paying a processing fee to the government, which is 1,000 Canadian dollars. Okay, request and privilege fee is 100 Canadian dollars. Once you have this LMIA, you can apply for your work permit. So the employer will need to will pay the government 1,100 Canadian dollars for your LMIA. It is important to note that if the employer important to note that an employer can also not charge the application for a job offer. It is against the law. So if someone is telling you that to bring money for a job offer and LMIA in Canada, I will urge you to really proceed with caution. So no employer will ask you to pay money for an LMIA. The employer is fully responsible for the LMIA approval. So all they need to do, or all you need to do, is apply with the company. If the company has selected you after the interview and they want to give you that position or the job offer, they need to apply approval. So let nobody tell you to give them money to get an LMIA approval. Please, guys, pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay, so for you to change your work permit, your visitor's visa into a work permit, you need a job offer with an LMIA approval employer. So that employer has to have an LMIA approval. You don't have to give the employer any money to pay for an LMIA approval. Secondly, as a visitor's visa, you can switch your visa into a study permit. Okay, those on visitor's visa can apply for a study permit while visiting in Canada. To do this, you have to have a valid visitor status, have an admission and acceptance letter from a designated learning institution, apply for a study visa online. You will find details on how to apply for this visa on their website, on the government website. I'll be doing videos on how you can do study visa full detailed application for a study visa. So stay tuned and let's go ahead. What does this mean to apply for a study visa in Canada? It's similar to apply for the visa outside of Canada. The process is not, there's no difference. The only thing is just that you're applying in Canada already. That means online, when you go to the portal, they will ask you if you're applying in Canada or out of Canada. You can say in Canada because you have a valid visitor's visa in Canada. So don't panic. Don't say I need to go out of Canada before I can apply for study visa. If you have an admission letter, offer letter, and now with the new policy you need the PAL, then you can apply for your study visa in Canada. So you must still apply for study visa online through the IRCC portal. And after your approval, you will need to present yourself at the port of entry to get a study permit. So, guys, if you're in Canada with a visitor's visa and you would like to change your visitor's visa either to a work permit or a study visa, okay, for a study visa, you will need to get an acceptance letter from the school with the PAL, okay, with the PAL, and with the PAL means provincial attestation letter, and you will need to apply in Canada on the IRCC website. On the IRCC website, it will ask you the option, are you applying in Canada or out of Canada? If you're in Canada with a visitor's visa, say you're applying in Canada. Once your application has been approved, all you need to do is head over to any port of entry, like any place, like let's say the border of Canada, or you go to the airport and get your study permit from there. Okay, so after you've applied online, study visa has been approved, you will be required to send your passport for a study visa to be attached to the passport. After that, you can either exit and re-enter Canada by air and present yourself as a new student for a study permit to be issued. Okay, or you can go to the land border. Like I said, if you get your application approved, all you need to do is either go to the port of entry or you can exit Canada and present yourself at the immigration office to get your new study permit. So if you have any questions regarding that, don't hesitate to send us a message, send us an email. We'll be willing and happy to help you. Okay, so all information you need to apply for admission, scholarships, and visa in Canada can be found on the website. Okay, and it's important to note this requirement so you can prepare ahead and plan before you make the decision to immigrate on a visitor's visa. The length of stay as a visitor is also expected to be for maximum of 6 months each time you visit. We know that with the visitor's visa, a lot of people are being issued 5 years based on the validity of your passport. So if you have a 2-year visa, a 2-year passport, you will get a 2-year visitor's visa. If you have a 5 years, you will get a 5-year visitor's visa. So based on the validity of your passport, most visitor's visas are given 5 years of multiple entry. Now, don't get confused. Even if you're given a 5-year multiple entry, that doesn't tell you to stay in Canada for 5 years. The maximum length of time you can stay in Canada is 6 months each. So when you come the first time, you can stay in Canada for 6 months. Then you can go out of Canada. So you just need to exit Canada and come again. Guys, please don't stay in Canada for more than 6 months at once if you're on a visitor's visa, unless you have changed your status from a visitor's visa to either a work permit or a study permit. It is very important for you to note this. So guys, keep it in mind and plan accordingly. Lastly, if you're visiting Canada as a spouse of a student who is doing a program eligible for postgraduate work permit, if you are the spouse of that international graduate who is already on the postgraduate work permit, or you are the spouse of a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, you have an exemption. So this is the only place where you are exempted. Okay, like I said, if you are a spouse of a student who is doing a program eligible for postgraduate work permit, or you're a spouse of an international graduate who is already on a postgraduate work permit, or you are a spouse of a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, you are exempted. So spouse of international students who are doing a program that is eligible for postgraduate work permit, or who already have the postgraduate work permit who spouse of Canadian citizen and permanent residents, do not need a job offer or an LMIA approver to get their own spousal work permit. Okay, so what am I saying? I'm simply saying that if you are a spouse of any of the above, you don't need a job offer or an LMIA approval. All you need is for your spouse to apply for an open work spousal visa for you, work visa for you. You don't need a job offer. So that will be given to you through your spouse or through your spouse who is a student or a citizen or permanent resident if you came to Canada with a visitor's visa. So this is the exception. So guys, this is just what I wanted to come and talk to you guys about, because I've had a lot of people in my DM asking me, how can I change my visitor's visa? I'm stranded. I need help. Guys, please pay attention and watch this video till the end, because the information I'm putting here is very important, and this information will help a lot of you who are in a situation that needs help. So guys, I will just summarize what I said earlier before. So if you are on a visitor's visa in Canada and you would like to change your status to either a work permit or a study visa, there are criteria that you need to meet. First, for a work visa, you need to have a job offer. Secondly, you need an LMIA approver. That means the company has to be LMIA approved. Like I said, you don't pay no money to nobody, to no employer to get the approval for you. The company is responsible to get the approval. Secondly, if you want to change your status from a visitor's visa to study permit, you need a letter of admission. Okay, you need a letter of admission. So you need to apply to a school and get a letter of admission. Once you've got a letter of admission, then you can request for the PAL, which is called the Province Attestation Letter, which is a new document that the government of Canada has put in place for international students. And then once you get that, you need to apply online. And when you go online to apply, make sure you state that you're applying in Canada because you have a valid work permit. Okay, and once your application is approved, you just need to head over to the border of Canada, which is through the land or at the airport, or you exit and come back with your study permit or work visa. I wish you all the best, and I hope this video meets you. And please guys, share, like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button so that each time we upload content, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you all and stay blessed. See you in the next video.